wouldn't believe that I am moving. You heard me right. I am indeed moving from Montreal. So let me just tell you a little bit of how it came about with me relocating once more and how I'm feeling about it, because I just went for a walk and all I can think about is the fact that I'm moving in literally 2 weeks. One of the main things that I was trying to figure out on this walk is, why am I nervous? And I think the main reason I feel nervous is because it's not like Montreal. I'm not moving to somewhere where there was a lot of information online that I could use to know more about life in that specific location. The videos I've seen are videos by realtors, and it's pretty much curated videos, and then videos from persons from Toronto talking about the location. So that is the only information I have about this location. I thought, let me talk about it since I cannot stop thinking about the fact that I move in 2 weeks. So what happened? Why am I moving? And if you're new here, I was living in Prince Edward Island. I moved from Prince Edward Island 1 year ago, and now my lease has expired here in Montreal, which is where I moved to, and now I'm moving now that my lease has expired. So I'm moving the same time that I moved last year. Last year I moved from Prince Edward Island, moved to Montreal, and now I'm moving from Montreal and I'm going somewhere else. Now, the biggest reason why I'm moving from Montreal is because I'm ready to go back into a job. If you're new here, I stopped working in person since 2024. I stopped working into a job, and I've been working from home running my own online business. However, I'm at a place now where I'm ready to return to work. I've been itching to go back to work, and a lot of it has to do with reaching some of my goals faster. That's number one. And number two, I am tired of just being home all the time. No, I feel as though if I was working with more people, it wouldn't feel so isolating, but I mostly work with only one person, and outside of that, I don't really communicate with anyone. No, it was an amazing opportunity to join the French class, because at least I was going to a class, I was talking to people, and it wasn't so bad. However, I am thinking more in the future. I'm not focused on just right now. Generally speaking, I'm just at a place where I'm ready to enter into a job, and that opened the doors to a lot. So one of the main reasons why I moved to Montreal is because here was affordable. The rent here is like 1,400 for like a nice apartment, and if you're willing to go into a basement apartment, you can get a nice size apartment for 1,100. As of now, I'm talking to you in September 2025, but I'm going to post the video after I actually move, just in case I decide not to move. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be moving, but just in case I don't, I'm not going to post the video in advance. So the main thing is about getting a job in Montreal. Now, getting any job is fine if I just wanted anything, but there's something specific I was looking for, and those jobs requires me to be bilingual. Now, I was open to learning French and then returning to work, but the opportunity arose where I didn't need to do that. Literally 6 weeks ago, it's not even that long ago that we decided that we're going to move. 6 weeks ago, something happened in this very apartment I'm in. Someone tried to enter the apartment, and they didn't try to do it once, but another person tried to enter the apartment twice, and the key was given by the landlord to these people. And that is when I was like, the fact that two people almost entered my apartment, if they could have entered the apartment, if they got the accurate key, got into my apartment and decide to just empty the apartment with all my valuables, that would be a big problem. And of course, they would have to pay back for everything that gets stolen because of their reckless behavior of pretty much not updating the system to say that we are living here. No, with that happening, we made a decision that we are going to move. We are not staying here. First, when it happened, we spoke to the landlord and we just let them know what happened. A couple days later, after us going back and forth, we made a decision that we wanted to move. Making the decision that we wanted to move from here, that is when I said, wait, why are we looking for apartments in Montreal? Why are we trying to stay in Montreal? No, my partner and I lives here and he always complains about the parking tickets, the driving in Montreal, the crowd in Montreal, pretty much what a city has to offer. But we did not know that the suburban area was so closely similar to the city. Now, many people said that the suburban area is very different and had the differences that we wanted. But the parking restrictions are still in the suburban areas, and we honestly just cannot be bothered. And the suburban area began to become like living in a city. It still feels a lot like living in the city because we own a car. If we didn't own a car, I feel as though our experience would be a lot different if we didn't have the challenge of having a vehicle and getting tickets. Like, we've gotten 3 tickets since we've been living in Montreal, and in PEI we've gotten 1 ticket. We drove for 3 years in Prince Edward Island and has only gotten 1 ticket, and it's not driving ticket, it's parking ticket. And that was me not paying attention. I was in a hurry. Usually disability signs are on the ground. There was snow on the ground and it was covered. I did not notice that there was a sign right in front right in front of the vehicle that says it's a disability spot. Like, I was pretty close to being like, there must have been someone who put that there. But I was in a hurry. I had an appointment and I was in a rush. I saw a parking spot and I parked there. Did not see the little sign down on the floor, because it's like down on the floor short, like a little child down there. So I didn't see it and I got a ticket for that. Fortunately, back then, while I was in Prince Edward Island, this ticket was like 50 something dollars, maybe $60. In Montreal, parking tickets are ranging $90 to $130. We got a ticket in the winter that was for parking in the construction zone. It was not a construction zone when we parked there. They placed a sign there after we got there to say construction. We did not leave the house that day, and because we didn't leave the house, we didn't see that there was a sign that was placed there. And it seemed as though the same day or the next morning, because we went out there about 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's either the ticket was about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, or the ticket the same evening. The ticket to $130 because we were parking in a construction zone that was not a construction zone when we initially parked there. Because of this incident, we've been thinking about getting rid of our car. We've been back and forth. Are we going to get rid of the car? We said no. And then at one point, we're like, okay, we're going to get rid of the car. The next point, no, let's keep the car. Anywho, ultimately, we want to keep the car. We don't want to get rid of it. We got it because we have things in storage. We want to drive back and forth freely, and we have big things in the storage unit. We're not going to take a bus with those big things on the bus. On top of owning a vehicle, the next challenge is French. Now, getting around in Montreal, it's okay if you don't know French, and for most people, they are kind, nice people, even when you say you don't know French. I've had only one negative encounter with not knowing French, and it was this miserable lady in the post office. So why am I moving? The car is not really a big deal. Like, we'll have to figure it out. It's either we're going to keep the car and still take the bus, or we take the bus, get rid of the vehicle, and that's for the transportation. I started to take public transportation to go to the French classes because I didn't want to drive to the French class because I couldn't find any parking when I get there, and the journey there is so annoying to actually drive. So I took the bus. Taking the bus, I forgot what it's like taking the bus, but at the same time I feel as though I've never had certain experiences that I had taking the bus. No. And it's mostly has to do with odors in the bus. Like, it's been horrific. Like, it's like people going to the gym and then they don't shower in the gym. They just leave and take the public transportation and go where they need to be. So the public transportation have been brutal in that regard. For me, is the odor that was going on, but that would be a summer thing. So pretty much all summer you suffer through odors, and then as it gets colder, I guess it wouldn't be that horrific. But who knows? I don't know. I was not taking the bus during the winter period. It was just for this summer French class that I was attending, and I have 2 more weeks of this French class, and then it will be finished, and I would have officially finished level 2 of French at that point. So anyway, that's not why we want to move. It's not about the car. It's really, when I thought about it, I started to think about my future in Montreal. So buying a house and getting a job. But getting a job is like the first one before even thinking about a house. But it's important to think about these things. So I was saying, why am I deciding to stay in Montreal when houses are so expensive, and then on top of it, getting a job requires me getting a job that I want. I have to clarify that, because you can get a job in English, but it might be a survival job like cleaning, working in a restaurant, just doing some what's the word? Doing entry level job. I'm not interested in going back into an entry level job right now. Like, I cannot be bothered. I cannot be bothered. But I've thought about it. I didn't just throw it down because I knew that afterwards, after I learned French, I can go into a good job. But there are 2 very important things that you need to know about jobs here in Montreal. Number 1, with getting a good job, you would need to know French. That's the first challenge. The second challenge would be taxes in Montreal. Montreal's tax is the highest tax in all of Canada. Now, I did not mind initially because Montreal also had very inexpensive housing, so it would balance out the fact that it has inexpensive housing but it has high taxes, so it would balance out. In my head, it's a fact. Like, it would have balanced out. Like, it would probably work out to be the same amount of money that I'm saving on housing if I was to go into a big city. However, new thing that happened is that I did some research to do a video on this channel where I spoke about getting permanent residency through the rural and renewal stream. The thing about this stream is that it talks about places that are in Canada that really needs people to work. Now, it's either I sit down, go and learn French, which would take me 2 years to learn French. That was another part of it as well. Take 2 years to learn French. Or I go somewhere that is smaller, is looking for people, and on top of it, I would be able to work right away, make money right now, versus waiting 2 years from now to reach the goals that I want to reach. I'll probably reach those goals after that 2 years, versus waiting 2 years. Then after that 2 years, After that 2 years, I would still need to work towards the goal that I want to work towards. So there wasn't any logic to stay in Montreal as it relates to getting a job and then working here, paying high taxes, and then after buying a house is very expensive. It's like there is no reason to do this. No reason, because there was no perk to learning French and then going into a job. And based on what I've seen, there's an income cap that I realize that Montreal also capped the income at a lower amount versus where it's capped in the rest of Canada. So there's income cap, so I won't be making as much money as I possibly could in the same field. Then you have the taxes, and these are very important parts of where you decide to live. So because of this reason, I was like, why are we looking to live somewhere else in Montreal? Why not consider somewhere else? Yes, we should definitely move. So the task was upon me to find, okay, so where are we moving to? So this is where it was very advantageous that I do these videos, because it's through these videos I did the video about the rural and renewal stream, where I directly listed all the places that are looking for people and jobs. Now, this is the only location that I've never looked into before. These are places where I've never heard of before. So because these were brand new places, it was my task to go and research them and see if any of them fit what we both are looking for. Usually in a location, we are looking at the weather. The benchmark is that it should not be colder than Prince Edward Island. The next thing is affordability. How much is the rent? How much to buy a house? Things like that. You consider that. The next thing is safety. Is it safe to live there? The next thing is all about fun and amenities and what is offered there and what is available. Because this is where Prince Edward Island really tricked me, because initially when I was there, I didn't want certain services, so I didn't know it wasn't there. I thought whenever I needed these services, they would be available. They were not. So now I know more, and now I know what to look for. And this location is the hub. It is the main location. And this, I also didn't know. I did not know that there are hub destination for smaller places that has all services, and that's the hub that you'll need to travel to when you live into a small area. So let me give you an example. When it comes to Prince Edward Island, the hub of Prince Edward Island is actually Nova Scotia, Halifax. That is the hub where everything is located. So that is where everyone from Newfoundland would come from and get certain services, and New Brunswick also would have people who go to Nova Scotia to get certain services, and from Prince Edward Island you go to Nova Scotia to get certain services. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought that every place, at least the province, like it's provinces you're talking about, I thought all of them had all the resources possible, and I've never needed the resource, or it didn't come to me. Like there's no way I would have known. Even if something is there on a small scale, like I didn't mind, but it not being there at all and me having to drive 4 hours away to get certain services was not okay. So this is why this time I was not making the same mistake, and I made sure that these services were in the location I'm moving to. This is where I slowly filtered out a lot of locations because they did not have the things that PEI also did not have, because they depend on the hub of the location. I haven't mentioned where I'm moving to. So I am moving to Ontario. Why Ontario? I'm moving to Ontario because I don't want to move very far. I'm not going to BC so far. I'm not going to Alberta so far. And also the cold and everything else. Like I haven't really done much research about other things there either. Like I didn't even consider far away. Just somewhere close by that I can go. I've thought about Ottawa in a lot of details, did a lot of research in Ottawa, really wanted Ottawa to work, but it did not work out. Ottawa is just too expensive, and that is just the facts. And know that Montreal is beside Ontario, so it's right there. The border is at Gatineau. Exit Gatineau, go over, you reach Ottawa. Drive further, you go towards Toronto. So that's kind of the rundown of the area. So I'm moving north of Ontario. It is 4 hours away from Toronto. It's small, but it has all the amenities, and that is what I was looking for. The amenities, very important. And I could not find a lot of videos, and some of the videos were just poor quality, but I found a few videos on YouTube about the location, and just have to work with what I've seen. I know like the things like the taxes, I know all of that. I've looked into the jobs already. I've seen all of that. Prices of homes, I can see all that information already, so it's not too bad. And yeah, it was great living in Montreal for a year, and it's time to end that journey and open a whole new journey. I'm not sure if this video would be helpful for you in some way. I mean, if you're thinking of moving somewhere, just know that you can do it. Like I moved before, and even if it seems scary to move, just know that you can. I'll do a second video where I talk about everything that I've done to be able to relocate and how much it costs. I'll also mention how much it costs to move, and know that I've moved before, I'm going to do it the most cost-effective way this second time around. Thank you so much for watching this video, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more of my moving series. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I see you rising through the rain. It's a big place where I go. I never bush. Ooh, Lakeview.